Hello everybody and welcome back to this tutorial, and let's right now fix our malware.c program and make it even better than in the previous video. So we mentioned in the previous video that we weren't able to actually change the directories and inspect different files in different directories, so let's see how we can actually fix that. I already have pre-coded function right here. It is called function.c. I coded it before and I will just open it up, and this is the entire function, okay? So you can either just pause the screen and just recode it in your malware.c, or you can actually download this function from the Udemy, where I'm going to post it as an actual part of the lecture. And from there you can copy it into your own program. What I'm going to do right here, I'm simply just going to copy all of this. So I will copy all of this. This is the entire function. Then I will open up a terminal, navigate to C programs, navigate to malware.c. And where I'm going to paste it, I'm going to paste it above the actual void shell. So right here, I'm going to click here, paste. And here we will have the actual function. Now you can see the function name is str_cut. And what this function does is it will help us split the command into two different parts once we actually send it to this server. Once we actually send it to the target, with this malware C program, with this function, will be able to split the command into two parts, and then both of these parts will have its function. And what I mean by that is, why do we need this function that will split our command? Well, we want to add in our while true loop in our actual malware.c to compare the command that we receive from the server with the cd command. The reason why we're comparing with the cd command is because the cd stands for changing directory. Therefore, we want to perform some action whenever we get the cd command from our server. Therefore, we need to actually split the cd command or the entire command into two parts. The first one will be cd, and then, for example, we want to change our directory to desktop. In order for us to perform this, we need to split this right here. So I will add a comma where we are splitting it. So once we actually perform the changing of the directory, we can only specify the desktop to be the directory that we want to go to. Because if we only receive the command, and it will be something like this, so we will just add in our while true loop in the actual shell function in our malware.c, we will add something like else if, and then we'll compare the string. So string compare, we already know this function. And then if we compare cd right here with our buffer, which is going to store our command, and then we compare first 2 bytes and then they equal to 0, then we can open this up. And now what we can do is we can use change dir, which is a function that comes already in C, so don't worry, this is just the change dir function. And then to specify that we only want to go to this directory, because we can't really specify change dir buffer, because that would mean we want to change directory to the cd desktop, and there is not a single directory called under this name, there is only a directory called under this name. Therefore, what we're going to do is we're going to use our string cut function, which is called like this, so string_cut. And then this function takes 3 inputs, 3 parameters, and we can see right here what are those 3. The first one is the string. The second one is actually slice from, so the number of actual characters that we want to slice from, and slice to. And you will see how we can specify that in our program. So we want to, since this is our command that we sent, we want to slice from the third character. And the third character is going to be after the empty space. So the first one is C, the second one is D, and the third one is empty space. Therefore, we're going to specify we want to slice from the buffer command from the third character and then up to, for example, 100 characters, because the actual path length will probably not have more than 100 characters. Therefore, we'll specify something like this, and then dot and comma. And what this will do is it will strip out these 3 characters and it will change the directory to the desktop. Okay? But also what we need to specify right here is, instead of cd buffer and then 2, we want to add cd space and then buffer and then here 3. So we're comparing first 3 characters. The reason why we are doing that is because there is a possibility that the actual server can send the command cd, which if we left this to be just cd and then only compare 2 bytes, it would belong to this actual if statement, and then it will try to perform this. If we simply just type something like this, then the cd command which in actual Windows, the cd command simply just prints the current directory, will belong to this if statement right here, and then it will try to change the directory to an empty space because we haven't specified anything after it, and therefore our program will bug out. That's why we need to specify cd and then space and then buffer and then 3. And the reason behind that is because once we type cd, or once the actual server sends cd, it will compare it with this, and it will not belong to this if statement because we only have 2 characters, while as here we're comparing 3 characters and one of them is empty space. Therefore, it will simply just print the current working directory. And if we want to change the directory to the actual folder or anything like that, we'll simply just specify space after it and type desktop, and therefore these 3 characters will match with this statement right here. Then they will get cut off and we will change the directory to the desktop. Now add the else if statement inside our actual shell function. As we can see, string cut right here. This is the function that we copied. We're simply just going to leave it right there. And in the shell function, right between the if and the else statement, we want to add another statement, which is else if. And then we're going to do what I already said. So string compare cd empty space, comma, buffer, comma 3. If it is equal to 0, so if it matches, then we want to actually change the directory from the remaining of the command. So change there from the string underscore cut, and then open and close brackets from buffer from the 3rd character up to the 100 characters. Okay, and then dotted comma at the end. So that is the actual thing that we are going to specify right here. And that would be the solution to our cd problem that we had in the previous video, where we couldn't actually change our directory. And another thing that we want to add before we compile this program and run it is an actual error code that the target will get right here at the screen once they try to open up our program. How we can do that? Now, the reason why we are adding that is because you noticed previously that it looked like nothing happened when the actual program opened, and I opened it like 5 times. That's why we need to prompt to the actual target that the program doesn't work. So we are going to prompt them with some type of an error, whatever type of error we want it to be. We are going to specify it in the API entry main function, and it will look a little bit more believable to the target that something is wrong with the program, that's why it doesn't start, than just simply running it and nothing happening. It can be a little bit suspicious. That's why we are adding an error. And how we can do that, let's go all the way down, and right after the actual connect, while the connection happens, we'll specify right here an error, which we can do with the help of message box. The first argument is going to be null. The second argument is going to be the text of the actual error. So what we are going to prompt to the user, we are going to prompt it, for example, iOS device.dll not found, and then exclamation mark. Okay, so this is going to be our error, and then text. And let's specify the actual name to be, or the title to be Windows installer. So it looks like something believable. So if this actual error prompts to the actual user, they will believe something is really not working with the program, instead of it just not executing anything. And we want to add few buttons, mb underscore OK, which is the OK button that is going to be prompted to the target. And we also want to add the icon, which is going to be mb underscore icon error. So it will have the icon that belongs to the Windows message box error. And you will see how this looks like. Let's save this. Let's use the actual compilation. So the command is this one, and then after it we need to specify -o and then the file name. So let's call it windows.exe, so it looks believable as a name as well. Name of our program, which is malware.c -lwsoc32 -lwini-net, and press here enter. And we can see everything worked correctly. Okay, so we already have the server compiled from the previous video. That's why we don't really need to compile it right now. All we need to do is transfer our actual windows.exe to the target machine, and we will be good to go. So move windows.exe to media, root, and then USB drive. Once it moves there, we can simply just unplug the USB drive. We can start the server, and we don't really have to start the server right now. We can first run the malware, and like 30 minutes later you can start the server and it will still connect to the actual Kali Linux machine. That is the part that we coded for it to sleep for 10 seconds while trying to perform the connect function. That's why we're able to run our server whenever we want and still connect to the target. And right here, let's go to the USB drive. Here is the windows.exe. Let's run it. And you can see as soon as we run it, we get this error which says Windows installer iOS device.dll not found. And the only actual button we have right here is the X button and the OK button. So this will get prompted to the user every time they try to run this file, and they will think that it is some Windows program that simply just doesn't work, so they will simply just click OK. Nothing will happen, nothing will get prompted out right here, but if we go to our Kali Linux machine, we can see right now we got the connection from the target. And we can run whoami command, pwd, okay, so pwd only works in Linux, never mind, ipconfig, you can run any type of the commands on the target system, and right now, let's see whether the command works. So we are run there on our desktop, we can see we are currently in this directory, and if we want to go one directory back, we can run desktop and then 2 dots. If we go right here, and let's imagine what happens once we send this cd command from the server. So we input it right here, the program takes it, then it cuts out the new line character, and then we send that right here because the command is not equal to clear. It will send it using this function, and then we will go to this actual statement right here where we are going to wait for a response from the target system after a command. And this is where we get stuck because once you send the cd desktop command, for example, to change your directory, there is no output that the target can send back to us after changing its directory. Simply the cd command, as you can see in the command prompt, if we simply just type whoami, it has an output and this gets back to us. But if I type cd desktop, it has no output and there is nothing to be sent back to us. Therefore, what we need to do right here is add an else if statement for a command. So else if, and then compare the string or compare our command with the cd. So if the cd is equal, so cd space, if the cd space from the buffer, which is our command, compare 3 characters is equal to 0, then what we're going to do is we're going to go to jump. What this will do is it will skip this part right here and it will go straight back to here where we can actually input our next command, because we are not going to receive any response back while executing the cd desktop command or cd any other directory command. Okay, so right now that we fixed this, there is nothing really to fix, I believe, in the windows.exe file. Let's just compile the server, so gcc, and then we need to specify, server.c, and then -o, and then server. Let's run it right here. We ran the server, we run windows.exe, it is working, so we got the connection back. Let's type dir. We are in the desktop directory, let's type cd 2 dots, and type dir once again, and right now we are one directory back, as we can see. Let's try it once again. So let's now try with a word, so cd public, and then dir. We can see right now we are in the public directory. Let's go to the cd documents, dir, and right now we're in the documents directory. So our cd command works perfectly. We can now change directories. We can go directories back. Let's try out the clear command. So the clear command works. We clear our screen. Whoami works. Everything basically that you can execute in a terminal or in a command prompt on Windows, you can execute right now, right here. Let's also test if Q command works, and it doesn't work. Pardon me, yeah, it does work, so we completed it. We successfully closed it on our Kali Linux, and now let's see if it's successfully closed on the Windows as well. So if there is no windows.exe, it's successfully closed, and there isn't, so we are successfully closing our program with the Q command. Okay, so basically that would be about it for this actual program. We managed to code our malware in C. We also coded our server. Everything that we coded as a function works, and now you can attack your target with your own malware and execute commands on its system. Now there are a bunch of things that you can add to this, such as, for example, keylogger, such as a bunch of the different commands, creating of the files, uploading files, downloading files, but I will leave that for another course once we actually code the advanced version of this program. For now on, this will be more than enough. For some of you, it might actually be too advanced because you don't have any programming knowledge and you just started off with ethical hacking. So I would strongly advise you to actually take some programming language lessons, whether it is C, Python, Java, any programming language. Once you learn one programming language, the other ones will be easier to learn. Okay, so that will be basically about it for this section. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I will see you in some other video. Bye.